man, but we're gonna do what we gotta do. I'm gonna have to start researching how I can set up my camera so that it works for me and it works for you, because right now it's not really doing good on either front. I'm working on this area. Last night, if you were watching, I was adding the grid, and I wanted to add the grid so that I could get more precise proportions in this area, because it's getting a little confusing. The reason why is the image that I'm using, it's very blurry. Like all the edges are very soft. Like they're not like clean cut edges. So it's very soft. And when you have an image that has very soft lines, when you have an image that has very soft lines, you can tend to, oh wow, I'm noticing things I didn't notice before. Miscalculate where things are at. Well, I'm learning as I'm going. Okay, I'm just noticing as I'm getting better at looking at the grid. As I said before, there is a kind of not necessarily as a learning curve, but also getting reacclimated to the concept of drawing using a grid type of thing. And I had I haven't used the grid in such a long while that it's been kind of foreign to me. And so now I'm trying to get used to the act of drawing with grid. And that's why I'm starting to notice things. Maybe it's just awake. Maybe I don't have any distractions. I don't know. There could be other things involved with it. Maybe it's just the way that the light's happening, showing the drawing or the image. Could be things of why I'm seeing things a little bit more clearly today. Maybe the last time when I was drawing, I wasn't really mentally with it. Maybe I was maybe I was like, oh, I'm here, but I'm not present. I'm present in the moment of doing the drawing, and it's now starting to click. At least that's what it feels like. And so all I'm doing is I'm just making lines that kind of express tonal in the portrait. You know, why is it so dark down here? Like, I don't understand. Like, it makes no sense. Like it's like a giant line. Anyways, I'm making lines that represent tonal shifts. And let's see here. Wow, that's pretty close to center. So it says center here. And then this is center, and then slightly above it is maybe a little is the I don't think it's that low. That feels a little too low. I'll bring it down though, and it's the under part of the nose, although you really can't tell. It's hard to tell where the openings are on this on this image here, because the value changes are so subtle. It's so subtle that it's hard to know where like the nostrils begin and end, and that's where photographs can kind of make things kind of difficult, because you don't know where things begin and end. So you got to work with with what you got. So the rest of it's gonna this is gonna be kind of dealt with through the manipulation of value. I'm so glad that I did the lines, though, the extra grid lines, because it's helping me see things a little bit more clearly. I had things close, I had things close, but I was I was like off just enough that I could tell, you know, everything was off just a little bit, just a smidge. And so this is the center of this square here, or close to the center. There is a line being made here, and then there's like a shape, a straight shape. And then over on this left side here, there is some lines that I'm seeing that I can put in right here. I like to do everything with, like to do my work, or anything that I'm seeing in straight lines. It's like a way of me breaking down the shape. I find it when you break down forms in straight lines, instead of like viewing them as curves or curvy lines. Although I do see curves, it's not like I just see angle, but like I like to break down the forms more simply before I get too complex. And me breaking down the forms as straight lines first helps me with the overall drawing. So I don't know what's happening here. I can't tell. I know that there's a highlight or a brighter tone happening somewhere around here. So like this is like the reflection. You know when like a photo of a nose, there's always like a spot. So like that's like a bright spot. Just a little highlight there. And so I gotta add that. Don't mind me. I'm on the way to drink some coffee, and I have a habit of getting coffee on my drawings if I get too close. So I have to step away. I have to step away in order to, like, I gotta step away from my drawing, or else if I drink my coffee, it's just gonna get all over my drawing, and I can't have that. I have to do that a lot. I have to be very careful when I'm doing that around like and being commissioned to do. That's a major concern for me. Like I start drawing, I'm like, oh my gosh, I better walk away for a second when I drink this coffee, because I can see myself just like launching coffee on my drawing, and I don't want that. I don't want that at all. So I'm just looking at the nose area, work in that nose area. Now, though, this other side right here, this is so tricky, because this side, like, I am not seeing, I don't see a lot of lines, because there's not any significant tonal change. So I have to almost make up where I think the nose begins and the cheek, and where the nose and cheek begin and end. Hey, yeah, thank you, man. Well, you're early. You're early, man. You should get some sleep. I don't know where the cheek right here and the nose begins and ends, because it's kind of, if you look at the photo, like the value change is so subtle, you know. So where do I put the lines to describe that? And so that's what I'm noticing. So I got to be. I don't know how much how I should pursue that, but I'm gonna have to go. Not late. It's morning. It's morning for me. Um, let's see here. We're just gonna make some marking marks and hope that it's close enough. We just want it close enough right now. I am maybe when I come back. What's nice about doing drawings that you work on in multiple sessions, you know, is you come back to it and you see things that you missed or you see things that you made a mistake on. Because sometimes you focused, you you get blind to the image, and honestly, I feel like I can get blind to the image really quickly. Even though when I'm drawing it, I think that I'm really focused on it, and then all of a sudden I come back to it. I'm like, what the heck did I draw here? Like everything was like I did everything off just a little bit. I was so close. What was I thinking? How did I not see these problems earlier on? And so that's what happens is I'll be working on it and all of a sudden 15:15. What's 15:15? Is that 5:15? I don't use the 24-hour time. My sister uses that. My where they use the clock that it's like 20. Anyways, gotta keep on chucking here. And all these lines here are in my opinion kind of moot, because most of this stuff is going to be built up through layers of pencil, graphite, applications of value. Uh, so now we're around the eye area. So I think for the next hour, 3:15, 3:15 in the morning or in the evening. All right. As I said, I have to back away before when I take drink a cup of coffee. When I drink some coffee, otherwise I might be on my drawing. So that's why I'm backing away. You know. So something like this. Kind of curves. Although there's variations in the value from here to here, and it's very subtle. But I just need something surface to kind of get an idea where I'm going with it, you know. And I think I might even do 2 lines. So like this is darker right here, and then it gets a little lighter, and then it gets even lighter. Same thing goes maybe like right here, as I'll do something like this. So maybe this is going to be like a shadow that I need to work on. I don't know. I'm trying to navigate how I want to express value with line in this drawing. I'm not positive how I want to approach it. So I'm just kind of like narrating my thoughts a little bit. I don't know if I'm doing a great job, but I'm trying to explain what I'm thinking a little bit. Sometimes that's a terrible thing. Like, God, Just kind of, all right. Something like that. So adding the grid lines really helped. I can't say that, I can't say that enough. It's helped me quite a bit. It's allowed me to see things a little bit more clearly. It's a little more solid. So that's good. In the evening, oh, well, yeah. In the evening. Nice. All right. I think what would be nice for these like live streams is if I could, when I do these live streams, someone else they take out their sketchbook or their drawing and they just draw with me. They draw alongside. So they're kind of like communally work at the same time. Or not. Maybe you're a writer. Maybe you write. Maybe I need to get like a really nice microphone and attach it to my pencil so you just hear nothing scrapes. That'd be super fun. I'm gonna try that sometime. ASMR episode. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Um, I'm kind of escaping. I'm kind of bouncing around between the eyes and the nose a little bit more at this point. Can't. I don't know if that's a good thing because I'm really struggling to see the nose on this side because the value, it's all very subtle. You know, if that makes any sense. It's all very subtle. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, ASMR, you could do that. You could definitely get at your sketchbook control, man. That's one thing. That's one thing a lot of artists don't do together is draw in the same room. I'm kind of nice about that. Although like there's certain like you can rent out studios. I've met artists who've had studio spaces that were what would you call it? They're they're communal, where other artists are um, are working. You know, like it's like it was like it's a artist studio, but it's also they were like I guess it's like they used to be apartments, and then they just became a building that artists rent out for an art studio. And I think the reason why it was like that is because it was like it's like the main floor has a kitchenette and a bathroom, and then it has a bunch of rooms. You know, so it might have been like they might have been like an old dormitory at one time, at one point or another. You know, and then they just decided to convert it into a communal art studio, which would work pretty well. But I've had artists who've been in that environment. It was kind of neat, you know. I've been around artists that had like a studio that was like in industrial parks where it's just, yeah, they were in industrial parks. It's hard to explain. Um, I might have to come back to this area when I have more of an open mind. Um, but they were in an area, and yeah, like there's no more industry in that. They don't have it's still commercial, but like there's no use case for it to be done used for anything else. So the owner of the building just rented it out for people that either wanted like some storage space, or I don't know I don't know, a multifunctional building of sorts. Man, this is going slower than than a snail in a NASCAR race. Oh my gosh, it's going so slow. But that's how it is. It's gonna these drawings, man. It's just a slow process. This is gonna be one of those drawings that's gonna take me. I want to do I want to start multiple drawings, but right now I got to focus on a commission. So after this, I'm not going to focus on it today, but like after this, for today, I got to practice Celtic knot after I work on this for an hour. Or I'm going to be practicing Celtic knots because I need to start adding Celtic knots to my commission, and I don't know how to do this. Or I do know how to do them, but not at the level that I want to do them. And so I need to get some reps in there before I start adding the Celtic knots into the drawing. And this is going to take some time. All right. So we're making lots of progress, I think. I think I wish it went faster. Don't get me wrong. I wish this would go faster. You know, it's not as flashy as some of those comic artists that you see that make marks over marks over marks. I don't, for one, I can't make marks over marks over marks because those marks over marks over marks are going to show in the final drawing. So I have to be very slow with how many lines I make because I can't erase those lines. Comic artists have an advantage. They can, especially when they're doing it in pencil, they do their pencil, scratch it out, erase it, you know, and then they draw it again, scratch it out, erase it, and then they can keep drawing it again because their final piece will be inked over and then be digitally manipulated. And so there's levels of correction that you can hide in that type of genre. But in this genre, I can't make multiple lines very, like, I can't make dark lines. If I do, it's going to I'll be able to erase it, but it's going to show in the final drawing. You're going to see those scratch marks. You're going to see all those marks. And don't get me wrong, I do appreciate seeing like how work is made. I like seeing artwork where the artist shows like how they did it to some degree, you know. But I don't want it to be like a distraction. So I got to take time on it and go a little bit slower. Not as slow as like a hyper realist artist, but you know, slower. Although when all is said and done, this drawing might be one of those drawings that is as slow as a hyperrealist artist, but without the hyperrealism, you know. Hey, dude. Yeah, I was adding that grid thingy. Oh my gosh, it's 26 minutes. I only have 4 minutes left. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So this square right here, there's a lot of little weird subtleties happening in the value. And so I don't know where I want to go with that information. Something like this. All right. I think I'm losing my voice. Oh my goodness. I'm losing my voice. I am losing my voice. Oh no. My gosh. My voice here, friends. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm noticing some things. I don't like it. I hate it when I notice things that I'm doing wrong. Like this shape, there's a shape here that I drew right here, and it needs to be up here. Yeah. Oh, wow. It's like a dark splotch. And then over here. So right below center of line, there we go. We're gonna make a big, that's supposed to be like the highlight on the eye. So this eye is gonna be tricky because you can't see the pupils. You only see a little bit of the sclera, and you can't see the iris too well. So the sclera is the white area in the eye. Only see a little bit of it. Just a smidge. I'm not getting this right. Oh, see, I can't really erase that. It's not doing a good job erasing. Not doing a good job erasing at all. And we're gonna go ahead and just add some lines here, like so. Move them up right here. All right. So this area is kind of tricky because I'm undervaluing or undershooting some of the curves. But I'm not going to deal with it today because we're hitting the 30-minute mark, and I typically end my live streams after 30 minutes. Simply because I can only work in like 30-minute blocks because I can only work on 30-minute blocks. But we made a lot of progress. I think this whole area was an hour. And it just builds up. So eventually you're going to start seeing a compounding effect. It's going to be pretty nice. Thank you so much for watching. You all have a wonderful day.